Welcome everyone to another episode of Rooftop Perspectives. Look, I'm giggling for no reason. That means there's a overspill of balance, happiness, joy, centeredness, right? And I wanted to speak about something along those lines. I hope this video reaches you in the best of health, prosperity, and success in nature's system, not the engineered system. Anyway, I'm giggling so much because I have LANCESCURV's hibiscus tea. It's so good, it just strikes me a certain way, and I know it's something that I can drink that it's healthy. I don't know if this has colored my lips a little bit. No, I'm not a cross-dresser. I don't wear lipstick. But at the risk of somebody thinking that, you know, hey, I'm not going to stop drinking this hibiscus tea. Trust me. It's just something about it. And it's cold, too. And it hits the spot, especially after being under the African sun. Which, you know, sometimes I have to say, like, wow, I'm in Africa. And this is not the subject. I just want to throw this in really quick. There's so many bad things said about the motherland, taught in school, fallacies that are whispered between children in school that are never corrected by the teachers because they like that when they hear that you say something ignorant about the motherland. You know, little kids, second or third grade, first grade, and they say, oh, I don't want to go to Africa. There's nothing but mud huts over there. When have you seen a teacher that doesn't look like us, and even some who look like us, correct that foolishness? They know that their job is being done because the kids will accept this, and that negative stereotype will be embedded in the back of their head and inside their head. So me now, I never believed that. I was never taught that. I was always shown different. Like I said, a client of my father's had got a National Geographic subscription for me for like 5 years. From like, I remember it came when we first moved out into Queens around September of '68. A lot of the big words and a lot of the topics I didn't really read. I read a little bit, as much as I can absorb, but the visuals were awesome to see different cities and different countries all over the world. So I knew there was a lot more to America, or a lot more better than America to live, or different, right? And also, watching this program about the top 20 places to live in the world, and you mean America didn't even make it? And there's some people who swear up and down that living in the United States is the epitome when it's going to hell. Imagine that. So we need to restructure and reset our minds, because there are many people that I know that are holding on for dear life, just waiting for America to come back, to be great again. Others say that, but great again, when was it ever great for us? And I'm saying what I usually hear, and I always thought that, and that was the first thing I thought when they said make America great again. It was never great for us, and whatever greatness that those people thought that it had, it's out the window. It's just a matter of months or a matter of a year or two. But can't you see how things are going? Anyway, that's not really what I want to talk about, because those of us who are conscious, we already know. It's not even a matter of having an idea. You can see it factually happening, things dismantling. I mean, imagine a president, instead of trying to stop drugs at the border or deal with the cause of why people use so much drugs, he's going to hand out crack pipes. Like, okay, like I said, I'm going to do a video on that soon. That's good for business, being the drug dealers that America is. Did I say that? I didn't curse now. So I wanted to speak about, and I'm setting it up, how we treat our vehicles. This is not about cars, this is not about trucks, this is not about vehicles, but I'm setting something up, and this is going to be a quick point. Most of us, when we get a vehicle and we get that in our possession, we change the oil, we change the transmission fluid. We don't want to rev it, we don't want to speed it, we don't want to make it or ruin it. Some of us do that because we just don't care. But most of us, we pretty much polish it down, wax it down. We treat it real good, because we know if we screech the tires and turn hard around the corner where we should be going slower, it throws the alignment off, it messes the tires up. We know if we drive it with no oil in it, that will mess up and burn up the engine and shorten its life drastically. We know all of these improper and destructive tactics will lessen the life of that vehicle. It will reduce the life and usage of that vehicle. Vehicles can go on a long time. And even so, what they suggest to do in the owner's manual, when you go beyond that and you really take care of your vehicle, it can go even beyond that, depending on how you took care of it from day one. Most of us get a new vehicle And we take for granted that we have to take care of it from that point on. It smells good, it rides good, pretty much, unless you take care of it. That's the best it's going to ever ride. And we take advantage of it. There are many people who buy brand new vehicles and they drive it, don't even change the oil. They don't do certain things to it. They let it run down. It's dirty. They don't rotate the tires. They don't check to see if there's anything wrong. To do something where they go into the mechanic and hook it up to the machine or the computer and make sure they have different little check engine lights on. You get the point. So when we abuse our vehicle, is it a surprise that it runs down? Is it a surprise that it doesn't give the suggested life that or the prescribed lifespan that it is supposed to have? You know, they say American vehicles pretty much last 100,000 miles. And I know people who take real good care of their vehicles, and it goes long beyond that. But American vehicles not known for that, the norm. They're getting better now with technology, right? But Japanese vehicles, they're known to last a very, very long time. Even when you kind of like not take care of them as much, but you have to take care of them also. But they say, oh, you can get 300,000 and 400,000 miles out of it if you take good care of it. But again, it all depends on the person. It all depends on how they take care of that vehicle. Let me take a little sip here. You know, I really shouldn't have brought this thing up here with me. I should have left it downstairs because I'm sitting here on the video and drinking, right? I'm supposed to be talking about stuff. Well, like I said, we know that these practices are destructive to the lifespan of that vehicle. Now, I'm not a mechanic and I really don't know much about vehicles, but I do know that from a consumer owner perspective that you better listen to what's in that owner's manual and go above and beyond and study what it would take to keep that car running good. That's all that's required. Just obey the laws, right? Well, I'm going to compare the vehicles to us as humans, H-U-E-M-A-N, H-U-E-M-A-N, because that's what I am. And there's a special way that we have to take care of ourselves, having the potential / propensity for a higher spiritual vibration, where unlike others who have to work at their maximum to keep up with us on a spiritual discernment level, even in our lowest manifestation, we can still hurt ourselves. We are not supermen and superwomen. We cannot continue to break the rules of how we are supposed to keep our spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical selves. We have in us the potential to be the Superman and Superwoman that we're supposed to, not like when Karen White made this song back, when was it, the late 80s, I think? I'm not your superwoman. We're not saying that somebody to get dogged out and dogged out. But when we were enslaved, they knew when they saw us, okay, we got control over them in their minds and they're working for us for free and we're dogging them out. But God, dog, this is a strong species of human, not humankind like them. But these people are human, and we can't let them know that they are human, H-U-E, melanin, reacting with the sun, just being connected to the earth, because all things natural support us as melanated people. But we still have to submit to the laws and take care of ourselves. And just like a person who has a vehicle, a car, they don't change the transmission fluid, they don't flush the radiator, they don't change the oil, they don't bring it for a tune-up, they don't rotate the tires. Basic things, if you just go ahead and do it, you're not really going to see any problems, because the people who made it knows what it takes to maintain it. Well, that creator, no matter what you call him, who created you, knows what it takes for you to maintain yourself and even to flourish and thrive and get even better. And have your spiritual discernment and your mental capabilities expanded beyond anything you could have imagined, because we're unlimited, because we're connected to an unlimited universe, creation, and creator. Whatever you can desire, he thought about it already. He, she, I'm not going to say male or female, but I just say he. I don't mean it's not she. Whatever you want to address it as, it's a blending of the male and female energy. But we know it's all about the female energy. I understand that. I just want to make that official. So, it knew, I say it, right? Being politically correct. But it knew what we needed and thought about it long before we craved it. The nutrition inside of the food, we don't know anything about that. We just know we have to have a variety of natural foods, get sunlight, all those good things, and we'll be all right. But what is it that we're doing that's destroying us? Or what is it that we're not doing that's destroying us? We're not avoiding this thing called envy, jealousy. That's like not changing your oil. We're not avoiding this thing called lust. We're not avoiding this thing called hate. We're not avoiding this thing called coveting, which is a jealousy, but all of those negative things. The anxiousness for lusting after something of this world that has nothing to do with enhancing your spiritual being. We crave all of the wrong things. We're putting all of the wrong nutrition down into our systems. Like again, mental, spiritual, physical, emotional, and so on. And again, I say, I don't have to be, and you don't have to be a mental health professional to know that it's not like a cut and dry thing. Okay, let's just remove the emotional part, fix it, and put it back in. Let's just remove the spiritual part of this person, examine it, and then go put it back in, and everything will be all right. Everything has connectedness to each other facet. So the spiritual is not just the spiritual, because when you have spiritual issues, it will translate into oftentimes something of a physical sickness. So you can change a person's heart. You can have a heart transplant, but that doesn't mean that the emotional part of that being or that person, the spiritual part that had something to do with the physical manifestation of that spiritual, emotional, and maybe mental dis-ease, just because you change one part, it doesn't make it where it's going to be all right. You have to get it all. And so we have to be in a state of continuous cleansing, of continuous tuning up of our essence, of who we are, the different components, separately and together, because they all react with each other. You see, it affects everything. You have a father who's a good father, who provides for the family and gives them wisdom and boosts them up, and makes it where that they can go on without him in case he is removed from that family. A righteous father would want that for his family, but it still affects the whole family if he transitions. They still have been learning stuff from him. They love him very much, his presence, just the wisdom, but they've gotten enough of it now where they can make it on their own. That's a good father. A bad father is when they say, if I leave up out of here, something happened to me, you're all in trouble because y'all need me. So he's not into the spirit of teaching and undergirding, because any person who creates a family or creates anything and they're righteous, they want that thing to go on beyond them. Not because they don't want to do it no more, it's just that they want to make it go on beyond them. I know several people who have had their children from young, married from young, relatively, and they did some right things, right, with their family. So if their mate happened to go and transition, you see how the family is affected by that loss. But everything that was taught into those children that are grown now, they're just as strong as adults, because the foundation was put inside of them, right? So what are we doing for ourselves on this level? How can we really enjoy life all the way when we're with our filters clogged with envy, with our filters clogged with doubt, with our filters clogged with this depression that comes about after you reach for something that's not meant for you and you don't get it? Especially things in this world as it is, this engineered world that's not meant for us. We're not supposed to even be a part of it. We're in it. We're born into it. We've come to the knowledge that this is not for us, and we're still in it. So this is why we do practices that are outside of it, that were not given to us from it. Because the man-made engineered system is only there to suck the life force from you. And you feel good at least when you can, I'm worn down and I'm tired and I'm beat, but I made a lot of money. Again, I'm going to say it again. Money is the dead manifestation of life force that you traded off for $1. So you got a pocket full of money, a bank account full of money, yet you're not happy. This is what makes it easy for people to kill themselves, because they get to that point where, wait a second, I'm not even feeling good like I thought. It was a temporary thing to know I was going to get this money or this status in the world, but it doesn't give me anything. Then they say, hey, I put so much into this, there's nothing to this life. Boom. Instead of getting with nature, detaching yourself as much as you can from the engineered system. Yes, it has the material goods, the pretty cars, the nice homes that you can buy, that they make, but you can build your own home. You can take your time and do it. You can build something that may not be as expensive, that may not be in an affluent zip code, but we chase this dream so much to fit in with what other people say are the standard of a good life. I question that. It is whatever makes you happy, but you can't break certain rules. You can't move throughout this world not changing your oil, not changing the transmission fluid, not flushing the radiator, not rotating the tires, not tuning it up, and avoiding the jealousy, the envy, the hate, the doubt, the depressions that come about your connection to this world. It's all proportionate. The more you are into this engineered system and away from the creative system, there's a more chance that you're going to crash, burn, and fall. No matter how much you have the Colgate smile on your face, no matter how much you lie and tell people, hey, I'm okay, this is the best life I've lived. Well, you haven't waken up yet, because when you wake up on a spiritual level completely, after a few things happen to you, a few wake-up calls happen to you, you're going to realize, like, wow, I really didn't have it together at all. Now, I'm not hating anybody who has enjoyed things that the monetary can purchase, but you can't make that your God. You got to know we're passing through this thing. That's like a child going to the amusement park and getting on the bump cars and getting on the roller coasters and getting on all these crazy rides they have where you sit down and you spin backward and they play the big music and everything, and then you want to get depressed when you get home. You don't own it, truly. You experience it. So the brand new BMW that you got, you experience it. It was a good experience. It's nice to drive, I'll say it, in a nice vehicle. You know, that it's a lot of maintenance, it's a lot of money to keep it up. If you can afford it, fine, but don't pull yourself and drain yourself from the other categories of your life, never enjoying life, trading off your time to go on a job where you're disconnected from the sun, your biorhythms are off because you're working all these late hours, you're killing yourself just to have that experience and be broke. Or if you still have money, you're not centered the way you should be. This is why when many of these top CEOs or many people that make good money, but they have to put in a lot of hours and they get exhausted, the first thing they want to do when they're in America, oh, I got to go down to the Caribbean. And they enjoy the Caribbean more than those who live there. Those who live there are working hard down there to get to America because they think America is some place where it's a utopia. But then how come so much is going on there and we still ignore that? There's so many people who want to leave Africa with all that they have here as far as resources and potential if they would just go beyond the way they've been programmed from a colonized educational system that keeps them trapped, thinking there's nothing here, that America is the best place to go to when it's not even on the list for top 20 places to live. But you'll see some of those CEOs of those companies in America and the UK, guess what? They're buying land down here in the motherland wholesale. They're getting the mountaintop views, the lakeside views. They're getting the fruits GMO free. They're living real good. And what they pay to have a housekeeper or to keep a security guard is next to nothing. Blue collar folks can afford to pay that for the most part if you have your act together. So if you're a blue collar person, you can come out here with an advanced mind. Not that you have an advanced mind better than those that are here. I mean advanced, knowing how the system goes back there and how good it is compared to the, how good this is compared to the system back there. And if you know how to hustle, cut corners, and make ends meet, you can find yourself in a palace. You can find yourself living so much better than what is offered in America. Remember, a place that is not on a list of top 20 places to live. Now, you may find another list and they kind of doctor it up. You can take a little money under the table. Who knows how that works? But talk to the independent people. It is not just a matter of living in nice homes. The homes in America, to me, not to get off the subject, but they're like paper mache. The wood and you're paying for wood? This is solid concrete out here. The doors here, most of them are bulletproof and they got bars in the window, not because it's so bad and the crime is so bad, but it slows down anything from happening because they don't have the sizable police force. So you have your own protection and people know that you're on your own if you try to come up in where I live. That's the way it is. But generally the people don't even think that way here. They'll try to hustle you and sell you something overpriced, but they're not going to do anything to you like that 9 times out of 10. because a lot of the folks here are highly religious. That's a whole other topic. You know, to me, that's a good thing about religion here, because a lot of folks are afraid to do something violent to you because they're afraid to go to hell. They don't want to disappoint Jesus. So the white Jesus, he has his place in making this place a lot safer. I've had people bring me wallets back after I dropped it out my pocket, my tripod. I packed everything up one day and walked away and left it. Guy ran down like a block and a half to find me, because really, maybe it wasn't because he was such a good person, but he wanted to show Jesus that he's a good person and it gives him a better chance to get into heaven. So we got to understand the atmospheres that we live in. But regardless, we're all human beings. We're all on a journey. We do make mistakes. But all I can say is that you really need to attempt to cleanse yourself of these things if you have it, because it will clog your life. It will clog your ability to live a full life, and it will wear your life down and will shorten your life. These emotions that we have, these things that we have inside of our heart, even though we can hide it behind a Colgate smile, it's still gonna take years off of your life. These things are not good to hold inside of you. That anger towards somebody because you can't control them, because they won't listen to you and they have an independent mind of their own, and your narcissistic way of thinking doesn't like it. Now you don't want to talk to the person. You mad at the person. You conjure up all kind of reasons to be mad, but it's only that. But that's killing you off. Your venom that you have for me, if it's me or if it's for you or anybody who's listening to the video, the people who have venom against you, they're killing themselves. That's the ultimate revenge. I'm not saying I want to see anybody just drop dead, but they're making themselves drop dead. I got too much things to do to sit here for a second and think about other people, whether they like me or not, or what they're doing. I'm doing so much, and I love it. I love to be occupied. It's the skimmed rock that, when thrown over the lake, doesn't fall in as it falls victim to the weight that it has, meaning that the more you keep moving is the more you won't fall into the lake. Like when you take a rock and you skim it and you see it go like the choo, 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 choo. Now after the third or fourth, you're lucky to get 4, right? But it's not even how hard you throw the rock. You get a good stone that's smooth. It's kind of flat, but it's got a rounded edge, and you hold it a certain way and you throw it, and you throw it low. You don't throw it into the water. You get low and throw it along with it, and then it will skim. Get a lot of skims out of it. So eventually we all transition. I understand that. But the heavier your heart is with these negative feelings, the more you're burdened down with these negative feelings that you hold within you, but the world doesn't see it. They can think you're the most wonderful person in the world. They can treat people that they hate, that they don't even like, and with a smile on their face, but inside their heart it's burning. They want to get something out of this person. They hate this person. They're gonna use him and manipulate him, and he's not doing what I think he should be doing because I want to benefit him at a maximum level, and he keeps shutting it down like he knows I'm just using him. Whatever. People have all kind of thoughts and intentions on your life and intentions with your energy. They have all kind of things going on in their head. I'm not here to figure it out. I'm just telling you, if you have these things known or unknown, seen or unseen, it's going to make your life shorter. It's going to shorten your life. And even still, it's not going to be an enjoyable life, because your filters that filter out the bad stuff is clogged with the bad stuff. So you can't even enjoy a beautiful day as much as you can. You can say you are, and you can enjoy a little bit of it. But when your filters are clean, you're not working at a maximum level to keep your heart clean. If I was sitting here peeping up on people's pages, hating them on YouTube and watching their Facebook, and they did this, they're here, they have that, I wouldn't have time to have a pure heart to really look within myself every single day when I wake up, to think like, okay, what is it that I want to have flow out of me? Because if I'm clogged, nothing can flow in. And when you're clogged, damn sure nothing can flow out. And that's the bad part, because all the venom that many of us have, it can't even, we got to clean our filters first before it can come out, because it's blocking it. You're constipated with hate, envy, jealousy. You want the status of the person. You're mad that this person is well known and well loved within their little category of what they do. Whether they're a shoemaker, whether they're a plumber, whether they're an electrician, whether they're a politician, which I don't really vouch for that type of thing. But all I'm saying is that, why do we even envy people who are in a certain position no matter where they are? What is it about your life that you've abandoned manning your life to watch somebody else's life that has nothing to do with you? And you're making your life short as you envy these people who are not paying you any mind. I'm not paying certain people any mind. No. If I can't get around a person that I can vibe with sincerely, out of love and respect, what am I doing around these people? There's no law saying you have to be around these people. We didn't agree to hold hands and walk through life. I don't even know these people. When you really look at it, do you really know these people? Really, do you know them? When's the last time they called you and you worried about these people? When's the last time you all hung out together? Right? Does it matter? You drop dead, they don't give a damn. If anything, they're going to come around looking to see what they can get from you, because that's what really most people are there for, to see what they can get for their purpose, whether it's wicked or twisted or whatever. They only see opportunity in you. So those people who are like that around me, they won't, because they won't be around me. We won't have any kind of false, fake, superficial exchange when I know they have venom in their heart for me. I have no desire. You're on this side, I'm running over here. You're on that side, I'm running over there. You're in front of me, I'm turning around and going around the whole block. Wherever you are, I don't even want to vibe near you, because I know what's in your heart if you're that kind of person. This is the way we have to be. We have to keep our filters clean. We can't make another person see what we see when we're on a higher spiritual level and they're down in the dumps talking spiritual now. Spiritually plagiarizing the words of someone else to sound good, to get them in an inner circle of someone else who's vibrating high so they can just pick from them. But their filters are not clean and they don't understand the depth of those words. You put them in front of a camera. I'm not saying you have to. You don't have to be the best speaker. I know I'm not. But you put the camera on them, or you're at an event and put the spotlight and say, talk, tell me about your journey. And all you hear, or they'll probably say nothing. But they'll be mad at you who do what you do. I've been doing this for a long time. This is my talent. This is my gift. Whatever it is, communication. It could be writing. It could be artwork. It could be just a conversation. Like I said, I'm not trying to be anything else other than what I am. And I'm very thankful for what was given to me through the Creator to do what it is that I do, because I love it. I love sharing my experiences. I love telling my stories in detail. Many people have wonderful stories to tell, but they may not have the ability to convey that. Don't be mad at me. There's another way you can do it then. Everybody can't headline and have their name up on the marquee. It's not for everybody. I'm not saying I am. I'm just doing my little corner in my path and what I do. But you have that person who's at the event and they sweep the floors and clean up. Nobody sees them. Everybody's gone. But they're doing a very important job. You have the person who served the food out. Now they got to clean up and get their stuff ready in the movie theater for the next day. Nobody really knows them or sees them. Very important job. Then you have that janitor that goes and cleans up the bathroom, you know, and makes sure all the stuff that's down there, missed the toilet, is cleaned up. It's a very important job. Like I always say, we see the beautiful watch. We see that beautiful Rolex. And we say, whoo, that's a beautiful watch. Well, really, what makes it a beautiful watch? Okay, it could be beautiful on the surface, but the beauty of that watch is how it performs, the precise time that it keeps. See? So what is that? Is it the illusion of what is on the outside that keeps a good time? No. That's the icing of the cake. That's the covering. When you have the best cake that you ever had, the icing may have tasted good, but the icing tastes good and the cake is nasty. You don't want that cake no matter how good the icing is. So with that watch, it's those little tiny gears behind the faceplate, behind that you don't see, that may look like something insignificant. Lose one of those tiny gears and you tell me how good that Rolex watch is going to work, regardless as to how good it looks. See? So it's the substance of a person. And a lot of us find this out as men and some women, but mostly men, I'd say, that we ran after this good-looking woman who had no substance behind her. Not that I will say all good-looking women don't have substance. There's some beautiful, drop-dead gorgeous women out here who have lots of substance, but chances are when they focus on that so much, they're lacking in other things, and you get hooked up, you get married to them, you have children with them, and then the facade comes off and you realize you're in a living hell. Because you weren't deep enough to discern what was behind the Colgate smile and see that they had these things behind them that were clogged inside of these negative emotions and thoughts and spirits. You got to be able to see this stuff. See me? I see stuff coming a long way down the road, and I'll be like, I'm ghosting this whole situation because this is not something good for me. See, you got to understand that you're responsible. You have that pretty vehicle, but you're responsible for maintaining it. You're responsible for keeping it up. Just don't think it's like the commercial or the TV shows where you see people driving around and you never see your favorite star in your movie or in your sitcom or your TV show on a regular basis. Oops, time to change oil on the vehicle, but you just see them with the vehicle just driving around. Life is not like that. You go and you look at your soap operas or you look at these reality shows that you see on TV or on the video or on YouTube, and everybody has all the lights on. Nobody ever says, oh, you know, I'm going to save some money. Let me cut this light off before I go. They don't say that because this is the TV world. This is the entertainment world. Your life is not the entertainment world. Your life is real. And there's maintenance that we need to conduct and do for ourselves. There's meditation, is being still, is being quiet, is ridding ourselves of the things that have accumulated on us. And yes, no matter how much we meditate and claim this and claim that, you will go out in the world and have some residue put on you in your dealings of other people who didn't clog their filters. It's not you, but it will become you if you don't do the practices that you have to do to keep yourself cleansed. Like again, you got to change the oil, you got to change the transmission fluid, you got to flush the radiator, you got to tune it up, you got to detail the vehicle, keep it clean. Not keeping it clean will wear it down. If you have dirt in your carpet in the front where the feet go, it scrubs into the carpet and makes the carpet run down, right? So there's so much that you have to do to keep up. And if you don't, you shorten your lifespan. See, most of us will take better care of our vehicles than we do our physical bodies, than we do our spiritual selves, our emotional state of mind, and our mental. We'll take care of all those things. Car looking good and we jacked up. Ain't that something? And we meet people with a nice looking car, meticulously kept, and think that's a reflection of their mind. No, it's not. That's just a covering for what really is inside this person. You see? So we look at it, oh, they got a beautiful home. Oh, they got a big bank account. They got a nice business. They got millions. They got these cars, whatever. And they're just as evil and rotten as you'd ever want to see. And no matter what they may give you, they'll take you out to a restaurant, because these people, they never do anything for you. They want to see you fall because their status, they have to keep over you, most of them, right? But whatever little they do to you to make you or fool you will surely shine through if you're on point. Because a person like myself, I don't let the materialistic stuff people have or count for. Let me see who you are as a person. Let me see who you are in some unguarded situations, because you know, when we do something, the action that people do don't tell us anything about them. It's the reaction that they do. I've told it before on this channel and on this show about me being a child and young child, maybe like 5, 6 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old. There's a woman sitting next to me, and she was speaking in tongues, and she was praising the Lord, and you know, oh God, I love God, just jumping around. Oh boy, if you saw her in church, according to the church culture, she was the real bona fide thing. And then the older woman got up, and you know, sometime when the aisles are so narrow and you're sitting down, you gotta either sit up and unhump yourself, pull your genitals back so you don't rub up on them. And so this older woman was getting up to go to the restroom. Well, she mistakenly stepped on the woman's toe that was so righteous and talking in tongues. Oh man, that facade dropped immediately. She was like, S-H-I-T, M-F-A? What the F you doing? S-H-I-T. And everybody was like, whoa, wait a second, wasn't she just speaking in tongues? Well, guess what? Before that woman came out of the bathroom, she was back on her spiel, speaking in tongues. Such a shallow performance, such a thin membrane of a falsified imagery. And many of us do that. Many women will put on makeup, but the real makeup they put on is a made-up personality that they show out in the world. A lot of men will dress nicely, but that's a facade to the rotten person on the inside. Not that people who put on makeup or dress nice are all rotten. No, I'm not saying that. But when you see something that is superficial and impressive, don't just take it for face value. Go delve a little deeper. Because like I always say, you have the right to smear feces no, not feces. You have the right to smear chocolate icing on feces, but you don't have the right to tell me that it's chocolate cake. Because if you think it's chocolate cake and you're telling me that it is, and I know there's something wrong with that cake, I'm gonna make you take the first bite, right? So that icing may make the feces look good. And with many of us who are rotten, we have that superficial icing over our lives to make it where people that don't delve deeper, oh no, this person's a nice person. They would never do anything like that. They've always been. All because you're checking out the icing that they have smeared over them, but deep down on the inside, they're nothing but feces. If you think it's not feces under there, take a bite and tell me how good it tastes. Anyway, salute to my brothers. Mwah. Much love to my sisters. I hope this gave you something to think about. You know, I just flow out here. I don't think I'm some big philosopher. I don't think I have all this wisdom, but just a perspective that may be a little different than the next person, that maybe you'll digest it better than someone else who presented you the same concept in a different way, only because of the way that they're made. So I'm no better than anybody. I just have a different perspective. Everybody cooks chicken. The people that do eat meat and cook chicken, if you take 10 chickens and give it to 10 different people, a person from Mexico, a person from Italy, a person from the Caribbean, a person from down south, a person from New York, they're going to make sure that that thing tastes different because of what's around them. Now here's Mr. Political. I'm going to leave right now. Much love to you all. Peace. Matter of fact, let me let him come on and say hi. Mr. Political, right on time. I'm just finishing up a video and I didn't hit the record button off, so in the camera, I want you to say hi before I cut this video off.
Hey, how is everyone? And as we celebrate Black History Month, hey, all I can say, because there's not much to celebrate.
I'm telling you. Hold on one second, brother. Anyway, that's my wonderful life. I'm blessed to get calls from Mr. Political and all the people that vibe with me on the show, and that's the way it is. And because he's on the phone, I'm going to say on to the next one, because you know, every time, every syllable that he shares with us, I have to capture it. Even if he sneezes or passes gas, there's wisdom in Mr. Political's expressions. So I will see you all later. Peace. Much love.